And so it's very clear that what has happened is yet another attempt by the governing class of the world, if you like, to take advantage of the little guy, to conspire against the governed, to have another excuse for exaggerated levels of taxation and of regulation and of interference. The impact has been enormous already. What has happened is that in every opinion poll, now a majority of those polled say they do not believe that global warming is significantly or dangerously caused by humankind. So the argument has now been won by the tiny band of skeptics like me, and every scientist who is a good scientist is a skeptic. That's how science works, by skepticism. But this tiny band has finally prevailed. Yes, the North Polar ice cap lost 27% of the ice that is normally there at the summer minimum in 2007, compared with that which we had known was normal from 30 years of satellite observations. But it's grown back by 24% in the last 2 years. So that shows the enormous volatility of the Arctic climate. It's famous for it. There is no scientific basis whatsoever for saying there is a 90% probability that most of the warming of the last 50 years was caused by humankind. None whatsoever. The fact is we have no means of knowing what are the influences that cause the climate to fluctuate in the short term, upwards or downwards. This is simply beyond our capacity to measure or analyse. If we have to pay twice as much for our food, it's inconvenient. If you're in a poor country, that difference of 100% in the price of your food is the difference between life and death. The Russian democracy, as it now is 20 times more democratic than the British democracy has become, because we now have 90% of our laws made for us by commissars. That is the official German word for the commissioners of the European Union, whom we don't elect, can't question, can't remove and can't replace. They make 90% of the laws of Britain. But you have a Duma, you have a parliament in Russia, which makes 100% of Russia's laws. The climate has always changed, the climate is changing, the climate will continue to change. Humankind does not have the power to do very much about it, and we would be arrogant to assume that we can. The scientific question amounts to this: are the greenhouse gases that we add to the atmosphere sufficient in quantity and in global warming potential to stop outgoing heat energy bouncing in from the sun, hitting the Earth and then going back out into space again? Are they strong enough to stop it going out into space so that it stays down here